You have a new co-host sitting here today, but the pick with Detroit Lions doesn't change.
Wait,
I was laughing when I picked that. I was like,
oh
man, I'm really just taking on Ahmed's energy here and going with the Lions.
Seriously. He's going to be so happy to hear that.
I know.
Yo, what's up? It's Chris Sims. It's Chris Sims Unbuttoned with Connor Rogers. That's right. Damn, man, I got another Lions guy here. But what's up, bro? How you doing,
What's happening?
Man?
Everything's good.
We're in a different studio, just so you know. This is really the Pro Football Live, PFT live studio. But because today I was doing a commercial with my mom, okay? We were in the normal studio as of late where we do Chris Sims Unbuttoned, so that's why we're in the different
Big star
spot.
stuff.
Big star. It's the first time I ever did anything like that with my mom. It was hilarious. She was nervous as shit today.
Really?
Oh, my gosh.
Because she was glowing when she came in here.
Well,
she was so excited and
it was
happy.
over. It was
Right.
over.
All the nerves are gone when I saw her.
I literally was like, Mom, should I bring Tito's for the commercial?
Yeah.
Tito's, like, do you need to take a drink so you can relax
Just
a
have
little?
one to cool off a little bit.
Every time they tell you to do a retake or can you redo? She said, what did I do wrong?
Right, it's not personal.
It means nothing about you.
They just want multiple options.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The lighting was off. This there. Her hair had one strand out, right? So they're very picky that way. So it took a while, and it was a lot of pressure for her.
It seemed awesome, though.
Yeah, it was.
That
It
is
was
a
awesome.
unique thing to do. Listen, we got plenty to get through.
Yeah,
we are going to recap Monday Night Football. We got film takeaways, Daniel Jones, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball. We're going to second guess sometimes coaching decisions.
Yeah,
sometimes we'll go back and say the first guess was right.
Right.
But Chris, let's get right into the first of two Monday Night Football games. The Bucs, in a thriller, beat the Texans on the road 20-19. This is the first team since the 1970 merger between the NFL and AFL to score the game-winning touchdowns in the final minute of their first two games. So the Baker Mayfield show is off to a thrilling start in 2025. Big picture, what did you think of the Bucs side of this game?
The Bucs, there's two things that jump out to me about the Bucs. One, that they're big up front on both sides of the ball. So there's never, even watching the game last night, it just my son was, what makes the Bucs so good? I go, there's no team that they're ever outmatched by. There's nobody in football that they're going to ever walk on the field and go, we're going to get overpowered up front. So I think it always starts there. I think the other thing that's really impressive, I mean, what do they do? Just grow coordinators on trees down there?
It's a pipeline.
It is a pipeline right now. They got a special thing going down in Tampa Bay. Credit to Jason Light, the whole organization. I mean, they got really a niche in finding people or knowing who's going to make a good offensive coordinator. I love the offense. I mean, it's not much different, I feel like, than what we saw with Liam Coen. First off, you could tell there's good run game design. And then they're throwing, it's two things. It's either an awesome screen or they're going to throw lasers down the field. There's no in between.
Right.
It's like he drops back and it's a quick screen and they let their guy do things, or he drops back and he's like, I'm going to throw it 25, 30 yards down the field. And I love that formula altogether. They're not perfect, but damn, they're tough, they're big, they're physical. And you know what else? And I meant to ask Pete, and Pete will be able to look this up while we go. I felt like they rushed 5 less last night. You know me in 5. And Todd Bowles, I know you could do it. This is why you're great to have on here. You could do this. We don't need Pete. But that is another element that I felt like in some big situations where I've seen in the past, and people in Tampa know I say this about Todd Bowles, and this is kind of my themes anyways. 5-man rush, you got to be picky with it. Quarterbacks, offensive lines are too good. You're not going to definitely win the one-on-one matchup all the time if it's a good offensive line. And the quarterback is going to be in control to make sure things are the right way too, which leads to bigger holes and zones down the coverage. I'm not saying don't do it ever, but I'm just saying be picky and choosy with it. And I felt like in some of the big pass situations, at least, it felt like it was a 4-man rush more than I remember. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but do those numbers bear that, you think?
For the Bucs?
Yes.
So simply, it's the fact that they just didn't blitz a lot. They had the
that's a start for me, though.
Right, compared to what they normally do. So
right.
they blitzed, pass blitzed 14 times against 30 pass attempts. And the 5-man rush was technically slightly under 43% of the time.
Okay.
But I think it's the way they were doing it that you're talking about.
Right.
They weren't like overcommitting to one side and leaving a lot open.
At least it didn't feel like that.
Yeah. So it was, they ran a couple, sim pressures 29% of the time. They corner blitzed 14% of the time. They had no 7-man rushes, so they were very careful, I think, and cautious with their rushes. I think overall, though, the fact that like they are a team that you would think would blitz more than that in general.
Usually, right.
So they were blitzing, and they were blitzing 5 about 42% of the time.
Right.
But on their blitzes specifically, but a lot of time they just didn't send anyone.
Okay, and what about third downs? Can you look at that?
Yeah,
Because
we could filter
that was to me where it's really about, right?
Yep.
First and second down, especially first down, I could deal with 5-man pressures. I understand that there's a threat of the run there, but I think within all that, yeah, those are things that jumped out. And yeah, maybe it's not quite as much as I thought either way. But the clutchness, I mean, it felt like they controlled the game for the better part of the night, right?
That was the key to
I
me.
think so.
The Texans, I mean, just...
There's some troubles there.
There's troubles because it feels like everybody, Chris, this is my perception view of it. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to blame something.
Yeah.
And I think it's the perfect storm of they have personnel problems on the offensive line.
Yep.
You have a young play caller that maybe is a little in over his head at the moment.
It's certainly not impressing me right now.
And it feels like both of those things are now affecting the confidence of the young quarterback.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think it's C.J. Stroud stinks, the play caller stinks, the line stinks. I think all three things are struggling and spiraling because of each other.
Right. I don't disagree with what you're saying there. I think C.J. Stroud is, he's feeling the pressure just because he's like, wait, we can't make plays. We can't do anything. I personally still believe in C.J. Stroud. You know that. You see the movement. He moves well. He got out of trouble a lot last night. But you see here, with the blitz, it wasn't good. It wasn't very good. No blitz. Okay, they made some plays, and he pushed the ball down the field. I think the thing we got to remember is, a lot of their yards came pretty early in the football game. As the game went on, man, it became strugglesville for them to do anything. And yeah, it was one of those games where you looked up and you went, wait, it's 14-13, and it just feels like Tampa's controlled the game really since the first touchdown of the game.
Nothing had happened for a long time.
Exactly right.
I don't want to lose your point, though, about third down because I filtered that out.
Okay.
So there was 8 pass attempts for the Texans on third down.
Right.
The Bucs blitzed them on 5, but they only brought 5 on 20% of the time. So they were not on third down blitzing 5.
Right. So when they say blitz sometimes, and see, I don't use these things, but sometimes if somebody blitzes and somebody drops, they still call it a blitz, is basically what you're telling me.
Pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which is what I kind of thought I saw. But okay, so
like
yes,
the mug linebackers,
right. All right, so it's definitely less 5-man blitz and third down passing situations.
So they had 1 5-man blitz on third downs,
right.
And it was a look with 2 mug backers,
right.
And both of the mug backers in the A gap dropped out. So it was just from the edge.
Okay.
So they overloaded the right side of the line because they probably feel that
they tried to show like a 6-man pressure basically.
Yep.
Dropped 2 guys out and brought 1.
Yep. So they had the 2 mug backers in the middle, the 2 men with their hand in the dirt, the 2 outside linebackers that are rush backers, and they sent both of the middle backers out into coverage.
Gotcha.
And then they actually did the overload on the right side with the slot corner blitzing.
Nickelback, right, which is smart blitzing. I like that. That's deceptive. If you're going to do that type of blitz there, then, you got to do something like the Mike Muggs that confuses the offensive line. And right now, like you said, listen, I held the Texans in too high of a regard, obviously, going into the season. There's no doubt about it. You said it right. The protection doesn't look good. They can't run the ball worth a damn. And I also worry about the receivers right now.
Right.
I mean, not that I don't believe in some of these young guys, but they're not there yet right now.
They just don't look ready.
Yeah, they're not ready. They're not. Who is going to be somebody else on that side of the ball for the Texans offense that is going to be able to make plays other than Nico Collins? And, we see Hutchinson in there. Noel doesn't get in there at all, even though I'm going, damn, I see him on the punt return
Looks
and go,
good.
he looks like maybe the most explosive receiver on your team. And the announcers were talking like that, as if they were told, oh, wow, he's super explosive. But obviously they don't feel comfortable throwing him out there in live snaps yet. So, that's interesting. But I am a little worried about the Texans from the offensive side. I still think the defense is really, really good. I like some of the things they do there. I like how they're matching up Stingley against, the other team's best or second best receiver. I think that's what they're doing. They're doing second best.
The old New England with
because
Revis.
first week he did Devontae Adams, which we know Puka's the guy.
Right.
And right now, maybe they've made the determination Abuka's the guy, and we're going to make you go Evans, or maybe they just like that matchup altogether. I don't know, but either way, I do like that aspect of it. I got one other thing with the Texans that I think has got to be in check a little bit. I love the way they play. They're kamikaze as hell. They got to check their emotions at the door a little bit. It's a little too crazy and kamikaze and with the penalties and Al-Shazier diving and he dove at Baker Mayfield or a running back at one point and dove as he was going out of bounds and hit the guy 5 yards out of bounds, and they didn't throw a flag.
Right.
I was like, what the hell was that? But, yeah, that's something else I think just to look forward a little bit. And also on top of the Texans, the D tackles scare me. They're just not big enough. They're disruptors, but I worry about a team a little like we saw last night that's got big people up front, and they're not even at full strength. Okay, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive line, or what we saw in the Ravens on Christmas last year, where they just obliterated their small, fast D tackles. That is one thing to look out for as we go forward with the Houston Texans.
And that feels like partially the scheme of how you build it, right? They like those gap shooters.
They like that Seattle scheme, speed, shoot the gap, do that. Right, but it's going to be tough against certain run schemes when you don't have those big run-stuffing guys or guys that can two-gap a little bit and then give your linebackers and your defense a little leeway to go, ooh, this is a tough thing for us, this gap, but we got a defensive tackle who can kind of do both and hold down the fort there, and therefore we can fill in behind that. And I think that's an issue for them. The Bucs don't have that problem, even though it stinks they lost Kalijah Kancey.
Massive night for Will Anderson Jr. He had a career-high 10 quarterback pressures. 6 of them were against the backup right tackle, Charlie Heck.
He was abusing him.
Listen to the difference.
Yeah.
Baker's time to throw before Luke Gadecki got hurt was 3.31 seconds. After Gadecki got hurt, it was 2.23.
Yeah,
and that's the good thing about Baker. He internally adjusts, like, it's different in front of me. I got to get the ball out.
And he's also just you don't ever feel like Baker gets rattled when he's getting hit a lot and he's under pressure. That's what
powers
I love
him
about
up.
Baker.
It's like the Incredible Hulk.
Well, yeah. I mean, you talk crap to him or hit him hard a few times.
Right.
It literally, you're right. It wakes him up where he's like, I'm coming at you harder next time.
It really is crazy
like that
to
about
watch.
Him a lot.
I feel like he kind of rubs off on the team too. Like it's the end of the game, and it feels like they have no chance, and everybody around them is calm. Even after Ibuka didn't catch that throw down the field, there was never a moment of like, fourth down, they're done.
He doesn't even blink.
No.
I mean, even the way they've been struggling on offense really a little in the second half, as we know. They missed the field goal. But, yeah, when he took the field on that drive, and the announcers and Buck and Aikman were literally talking about all of the fourth quarter drives he's had. It was just like you could tell he was as cool as ice. He was like, yep. He honestly was like nodding his head like, all right, we're going to go down and win the game right here. Yeah, he doesn't flinch. I like that about him a lot. Their run game's impressive. We saw that. And it wore on them. And Rashid White at the end of the football game, man, that's a nice compliment to Bucky Irvin. Bucky Irvin's shifty as hell. Rashid White's a little bit like, no, I'm going to run you over and lower the boom. I like what they got working right now. Tampa looks really good.
Yeah, I think White looks a lot better this year. I don't know if it's a health thing or confidence thing, but he's definitely got his legs back under him for sure. Want to move to the second game here?
Yeah, sure. I think we hit all the main stuff.
Chargers beat the Raiders 20-9. It was a second half of not a lot of action. The Chargers kind of came out on fire in this game. They're in sole possession of first place in the AFC West for the first time since Week 5 of 2021 season.
Crazy.
That team did miss the playoffs, don't forget.
They started out hot, beat the Chiefs early in the year, and then fell apart down the stretch.
They lost in a overtime to the Raiders on Sunday Night Football in Week 18. But right now, I mean, the story of this game, Chris, was just the Chargers' defense. Geno Smith did not look good. Ashton Genty had really nowhere to go most of the time. The Chargers' defense, they had 15 passes broken up. They had 6 tackles for loss. They had 3 takeaways. Then they didn't allow a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, they were as good as it gets under the lights last night.
This is why I had a man crush on this defense last year. All the homies know this. I mean, I was probably a year too quick to have a man crush on this defense. But Jesse Minter, the D coordinator's on his way to being a head coach.
I was just going to say, it feels like this is the year.
He's going that way. He's too good. I mean, he's so rooted in, Wink Martindale, Mike McDonald, right? All those coaches, Denard Wilson down in Tennessee had a little bit of that. Anthony Weaver down in Miami has a little of that, right? There's great creativity, and what jumps out to me about his defenses all the time is, I mean, you see the replays, and I know you watched them on film before. They can play zone and pass people off, or you get in a certain, we got a bunch receiver, and they know how to play it to where it's like they got a guy. If one guy breaks out, they got a guy there. If 2 guys breaks out, it's like, they were ready for it. 2 are out there waiting for it. Somebody's ready for the inside guy. They're really well coached. They're creative on the back end, and their defensive front, I think, is better than last year, at least. And Deion Henley has definitely taken another step in the right direction. So, I mean, they're impressive. I think it's a Raiders offense that won us for the second week in a row. What am I going to say? Not loving what I see about Ashton Genty, right? I don't care that I know there's no holes. I'm not judging him on that. I'm just saying, even with no holes or a little hole, I don't love the look of it right now. I just don't, right? And I'm not saying Omarion Hampton's like a whole lot better or whatever. I'm just saying Genty is a guy I thought he could be a superstar. But I did wonder whether that would translate totally that way. Their passing offense, they're aggressive. I like some of the stuff they do, the Raiders, but I think with lack of weapons a little bit, and I don't think the passing offense is ultra complex. It's a one where I look at Jesse Minter and I think he goes, wait, I can figure this out and break it down and find the tendencies of what you do there.
Yeah, it felt like they came into the game a little predictable. You had Thornton running deep. You had Brock Bowers looked like he was playing on one leg.
Well, definitely. He was not himself.
He was not himself,
Right.
which changes the entire dynamic of the offense as a whole. And I thought, Chris, for the first time in a while, Geno was really staring things down when it wasn't going smoothly in the beginning. He started to look to, and I thought the Chargers dropped a couple picks.
They did, for sure.
Where it could have been a lot worse.
He is a stare down type of quarterback to a degree, and it's something he could work on. Right, he's got such a great arm, and he believes in his ability to thread the needle and put the ball wherever he wants, that he is one of those, and this happens to a lot of big arm quarterbacks. They just kind of, hey, I'm going to wait for that first read. I'm going to wait. Oh, he's open by half an inch. I can get it in there. And I think he's just a little too aggressive. I like the aggressive nature we've seen in both games this year. But, yeah, last night, I think there does come a point to go, wait, they're all over our stuff. I don't know if I should just be trying to fit everything into every little hole possible there. Chip Kelly, he's going to have to grow that passing offense more here in the NFL. I mean, we've seen Chip Kelly. He's done a lot of good, and we know he did good at Ohio State last year, but even at Ohio State, I wasn't like, oh, wow, this is special. Not even for college football. It's kind of bland.
Right.
They just execute, and they try to do it that way, and, it did seem like the Chargers were all over everything there.
Geno 0 for 10 on passes, 10-plus yards down the field, and your boy Dion Henley, Chris, awesome game. 10 tackles, 2 for a loss, 2 passes broken up, a sack, and interception. I know he was your number 1 linebacker in that draft. I had him number 75 on my big board. He went 85th.
Right.
It's looking like a good decision by the Chargers. The play speed with him is just different.
He's different.
I thought when he triggers downhill, it's like, oh, well.
No hesitation.
There's no right. Exactly. There was the third down run to Genty that it felt like you blinked and he was in the backfield.
That's where he caught my eye in college football.
Right.
Maybe some teams want somebody a little bigger or even a hair faster. But I think he's pretty fast, and because of his reaction and instincts and how he plays a whole lot faster maybe than his 40 time would actually show or anything about that. He ain't afraid to throw his body around.
No.
And I'm a believer in the middle linebacker position. Hesitation cannot be part of your DNA. You cannot. And that's why Fred Warner is awesome. Guys like Roquan Smith are awesome because they're just like, wait, there's a hole there. The running back's going to come through there. If there's a hole, I'm going to run through it, and he's going to have to meet me there. And that's where he is special that way. So, yeah, that between him, of course, our damn safety, Derwin James, right? They got some kamikazes on that side of the ball that I really like, and I just hope Khalil Mack's okay too.
And they have some beef up front. I mean, drafting Jamari Caldwell from Oregon.
Definitely.
They're definitely bigger in the trenches.
Bigger than last year.
Yeah,
right. Last year, they got worn down, I feel like, as the year went on in the middle of the defense.
Little side plot of this game. Tom Brady being shown in the Raiders booth wearing a headset, as you see here if you're watching on YouTube. James
As
Palmer
he's looking at himself on a screen right here. Right? When people got to realize, when you see that right there, that look, there's TV screens in the top corners of all these press boxes, coaches' boxes, all that. So he's looking at it right now like, they're showing me, right? And he keeps looking. What'd you think, man?
I just feel like it was an awakening for everybody last night of how this is happening, where I was kind of more in line with you. Number one, I think it's ridiculous. I think this is a league problem, not a Tom Brady problem, because he's doing what he's allowed to do.
Exactly right.
I
got no problem with Tom.
No problem with what Tom's doing. If I was Tom Brady and had a lot of money and was really smart, I would do as many things as I can.
Exactly right.
I don't think you can be a broadcaster for some of the biggest games in the sport every week and then also be meeting with the offensive coordinator of a team in the league as a partial owner multiple times a week. I think there is the definition of conflict of interest.
There's no denying that. I'm not mad at Brady either. I'm with you in that. Like, hey, if you can do it, keep doing it. I'm all for it. This is a league problem. I think you said that. That's exactly the point. It's a league problem. I could also say, though, if I was the coach of the Chargers or the coach of the Broncos, and he's doing one of my games later on, he's not getting anything.
No, you can't.
We know he's not getting to go to practice, But forget that. I would be very careful in telling him anything about our football team. And, maybe, hey, Tom, we'll take a phone call with you. But I would keep it as bland and as simple as you could possibly be. Right? Yep, we're going to play hard. We're going to do this right. Hey, yeah, he's a good player. But you don't want to give him – see, when you get into long conversations like that too, coaches start giving inklings of certain things they like about their team. And that's what you learn in those production meetings.
A guy that you don't see publicly.
That great. And they're going, hey, we're doing all this stuff around.
Yes.
Did you notice what he's doing? Then you go home and you go, oh, shit, yeah, I'm watching the film now. Now that they told me, holy cow, they are making him do a lot of crazy stuff. And now you're clued into that to look at that, maybe tell your team, the Raiders, whatever else. Yeah, that's what I don't like about it. I don't like about that. But, yeah, we're going to see. We'll see what Roger Goodell and company do here.
I mean, so Field Yates had this tweet where Tom Brady scheduled to call Cowboys-Bears for Fox in Week 3. The Raiders' Week 4 opponent is the Bears.
Right.
It's just it's just natural that in the sport, he's just towing both lines, and they're letting him, so he should do it. But I'm just shocked that nobody should be bigger than the league when it comes to conflict of interest.
And I would
feels like right now he's bigger than the league.
Yeah, it does feel that way. I think Ben Johnson, there's no way he talks much to Brady. I mean, I think Ben Johnson's pretty old school. I mean, Dan Campbell School of Coaching, which is from the Parcells School of Coaching, and Sean Payton. If they talk, it's going to be about as bland and simple as possible. So we'll see where that goes. But, yeah, they got some issues to figure out there. The other thing we just got to hit on with this real quick is I think the Chargers offense. I know it's 20 points, but Quentin Johnson, once again, catching the ball.
Yes.
We saw Herbert break the pocket, throw a touchdown pass, doing that early. Yeah, throw a touchdown pass. I think it was, or maybe he got him down there close. So I'm thinking when they got him down there, they were in the red zone. He got a third down throw that got him down there inside the 5-yard line. But we're seeing that. I really like the way Herbert looks, and they have to be encouraged with Quentin Johnson and how he looks. And the Keenan Allen addition was perfect for their football team.
He looks great.
Yeah.
It's just a reliable outside possession receiver that can kick inside.
Exactly.
I feel like in that game, because I know McConkey only had 5 catches, it felt like the defense was kind of keying in a little bit on McConkey.
Yeah, right.
And that's how you let QJ get over the top. And my take with QJ is he's just making the plays that he needs to make.
That's it.
You don't need him to be a star.
No.
Like, it felt like year one, those plays were 50-50 plays
we were
at
like,
best.
wait, it's a shallow cross.
Yeah, why is he dropping the ball?
It's a go route. You dropped it. Right. If he just catches those, you're right. That's all they need. That's what they're looking for in that offense. Just somebody to stretch the field a little bit. You got one of the best deep throwers in the football with Herbert, one of the best arms in football, and he gives them a little bit of a scary element because you can see when he opens up, he can really, really run. So that's got to be awesome. And let me just say, too, to end it out, that Raiders defense is pretty damn good.
Right.
So don't just look at it and go, oh, it's 20 points and it wasn't perfect and the numbers weren't good. No, the Raiders, you watch, as this year goes on, they're going to be a pain in the butt. Patrick Graham, their defensive coordinator, he's good. And, yeah, I bet you a lot of his game plan in certain third down situations and stuff was like, don't let Lad McConkey run one of his option routes
on those freebies.
And those freebies and stop him that way.
Yeah, I think they're a team that, the secondary just looked like they didn't have the answers because the plays were going on so long.
Right.
And Herbert, when he could challenge you over the top, he's as good as anybody in the league.
Definitely.
At that. It was pretty to watch. We're going to take our first break. When we're back, we're looking at the AFC West odds and the team the Chargers are trying to dethrone, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly and $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV.
Just download the Sportsbook app and use the promo code UNBUTTONED when you sign up.
DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Let's take a look at the odds to win the AFC West. That is week 1 on the left compared to how things stand now. The Chargers are the favorite, Chris. No surprise after they not only beat the Chiefs in Brazil, they handled their business against the Raiders. They're minus 110. The Chiefs are plus 270. Your Denver Broncos plus 320.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this thing is still real tight between the three. I don't think
I'm
there's
shocked that the Chiefs are still in second here.
This is kind of maybe a bit of an overreaction from the odds makers. We'll see. A lot of football left for this one.
I mean, the Broncos. I mean, really, they left one on the table the other day. I mean, not to say that the Colts didn't play well, but it felt like the Broncos should have pulled that game off and won it. They gave the Colts, life a few times. The Colts did a lot of good things, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I mean, I don't know. Right now, there's no way I would take the Chiefs second, right? I know they need Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, but I'm afraid of what it's going to look like until then. And we're going to break that down too. There's concerns.
Yeah.
It's far away. Exactly right. But all the things we've kind of talked about with the Chiefs, I mean, I think it's real. And right now, I certainly would put the Chargers and the Broncos. Even watching the Broncos, I'm still was impressed watching that on film yesterday. I really was. There's a look. The Colts are an issue on offense.
Sure.
You're going to see they're going to be an issue for everybody with that offense this year with Daniel Jones at quarterback, and I know we're going to hit that in a few minutes.
Let's get into the Week 2 film review. It's now my turn, Chris, to decipher the chicken scratch. Pete sent me the notes, and I was like, okay, I got some of this, but some of it is me deciphering a very difficult chalkboard equation. Right. All right, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, their offense against the Eagles. Chris, the one thing that jumped out right away is just that you saying the defenses know the Chiefs' deep crossers.
Yes.
Like they absolutely are cued in on it all the time.
The basic formula of the Kansas City Chiefs and why they took the league by storm when Mahomes took over and all that, we all know it's not routes really. It's not like, hey, we're going to run a 5-yard under and a 12-yard out route over the top of it. It's not that. They have some of those plays, but on the regular, you're going to see one guy go on a 20-yard cross. You're going to see the guy on his side run a deep post over the top of it, and then the guy on the other side of the field is going to run a cross coming underneath the guy that was running the 20-yard cross. And it was a pain for everybody in the NFL for a while. And, of course, it just created space. And Mahomes, he's so gifted. I think they invented it like, hey, he'll sit back there. He'll make something happen. Just give him some options down the field, and he'll do it. And then, of course, the other thing that's still good about it is you see teams drop back into deep coverage, and he has running lanes.
Right.
So that's where that's effective. But as far as, like, that as a whole, no. I mean, they ran that concept or some version of it. Let's just say they did it 12 times the other day. They were all over it, 11 of them. They caught one time where they caught them in man, and he had somebody going across. But yes, and if it's not the crosser with the deep post over the top, then the other guy fakes like he's going to run the cross, and then he comes back out. Or it's the guy at the outside runs the post, and the guy that was going to run the deep cross, now he runs to the corner on the inside. So everybody's ready for those combinations. It's not catching anybody by surprise anymore. Everybody has studied the Chiefs, and it's into our old conversation of like, once you become good at it, other teams start doing it, so teams see it on the regular now.
Right.
It's not like oh, wow, we're playing the Chiefs. We haven't seen this before. So that's certainly something that jumps out. Also, 41 passes and 19 runs with what they got right now, that ain't good either. And I don't love that, formula for success either.
To piggyback off of that, in this game, the Eagles ran cover 6 9 times, and they ran quarters 13 times. So, I mean, that to me tells you exactly what you're saying. They know the deep half of the field, like where it needs to be shut down and contained for.
And you're cover 6, you're going quarter, half, right?
Right.
Yeah, right. No question.
That's had to be the look whenever they're running that concept.
That's why they ran it for the most of the Super Bowl. I mean, that's the one, like cover 4, if it taught right, you should be able to pass all these things off the right way. And same thing with cover 6. With one side of the field playing quarters, the other side of the field playing cover 2. Yeah, that's why they're doing it, right? They're all sitting there, eyes in the backfield, watch the crossers come, and also can allow you to keep eyes on Mahomes a little bit and judge whether he's scrambling or not, instead of being in a man-to-man situation where now it's like, oh, wait, he's scrambling, he's moving the pocket. I have to hold the guy because he's running around forever. Oh, defensive holding or pass interference. So I think it's the way you're going to see a lot of teams approach the Chiefs.
They played quarters and cover 6 almost 40% of the game.
Yeah.
So it absolutely goes to what you're saying. Another thing here.
Yeah.
Tyquan Thornton, their only speed weapon.
That's right. You heard that right.
What's going on with Hollywood Brown after he had, 16 targets week 1, I think it was.
He runs well. I don't mean that he's not, I'm not trying to say he's slow, but he doesn't, on film pop out to where you're just like, holy crap.
Right.
Look at him get downfield. It's not the type of speed where a defense is like, oh, no, Hollywood Brown's out there. Check. We got to back up. Absolutely not. Let alone he plays small, just like Xavier Worthy does at times. So they get bumped and moved a little bit, and it's like, yeah, he's fast, but that guy got an arm on him, and now it's going to take him 5 seconds to get over there because he got knocked off balance, and now he's got to regain his running form, and that's what I don't love. That's where I haven't loved those type of guys. Probably where I was wrong on like Garrett Wilson, right? I thought maybe he was too
slender
flare,
guy.
right? But yet he's proved me wrong 100%. But that's why I don't love that type of guy all the time. It's not my type of wide receiver. But yeah, he doesn't pop that way.
It's hard for small receivers in this league.
It definitely
because
is.
Then for a coach, you have to hopefully give them a free release. So you can't have a roster full of them because one guy is basically going to get that with a two-way go.
Exactly right.
I say it during the draft every year, and this is something that's changed with me. When I started doing the draft a long time ago, I'd fall for every small college receiver that was a highlight reel guy.
Right.
Now, there's rarely a time
you second guess it all the time.
I don't typically ever like small receivers.
Or they
anymore.
better have some like muscle to them.
Right. I liked Jalen Noel last year.
Exactly
yes,
right.
That was
got something to him.
Yes, that was a different type of small receiver.
Exactly right.
But more often than not, it's hard for these guys in the league to exactly what you're saying. Everybody's big, fast, physical, and then the coach has to have one spot for you.
Yeah.
And a lot of coaches don't want to always have a roster full of guys like that.
No.
And that feels kind of like the Chiefs at times.
I agree.
Now.
Sometimes it's like, wait, you're the two small guys out there with Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown. Yeah, no, I'm not sure I love that. And it's funny you bring that up because I was watching watching the Tampa game last night, and just going, the guys I've had kryptonite with off of like you're talking about the small guys. I got to give like one bigger receivers a little more credit, I think, in the eval process, and guys like Emeka Ibuka or Jackson Smith and Jigba. Even though technicians with strength, right? They're like 6'1" powerhouses where you can't push them. When they catch the ball, they're hard to tackle. And that's my self-scout thyself right now of like, hey, Chris, that guy works in the NFL. Stop like, oh, it's not that sexy in college. He doesn't separate all the way. NFL teams know how to use these type of guys, plus the physical element of the football game, they're not affected, and that's certainly somewhere I'm going to be keeping in my mind and draft this year.
I think with those two guys, they're the master of tempo.
Yeah.
And when you could change speeds, you don't need to run a 4.4.
You're exactly right.
And
Come
I think
off slow, hit it.
The small guys, they don't have the stride length, so they need to just go top gear as fast as they can.
Right.
It's hard. Like you have a few outliers. I think Zay Flowers is a guy that's a pretty good outlier. He finds a way to kind of get through it, but it's definitely a big thing. One more from this game as well. The Eagles, they didn't blitz in the Super Bowl. They blitzed twice on 42 dropbacks. In this game, they were trying to get after Mahomes.
Definitely.
And they got a turnover off of it. The interception came off of a play where they blitzed.
Right. It shocked the Chiefs. I mean, I saw Mahomes. Mahomes has gotten to a point almost like Brady was at the end of his career. Like when you blitz, it's like, why? He picks it up, he points out the right thing to do, and you don't get there. They caught him by surprise. I haven't seen Mahomes get caught by surprise with the blitz, and I think it happened 2 or 3 times where I think he just looked at the coverage. Their studies were like, they don't blitz this formation, and he dropped back and was like, nobody's coming. Oh, gosh, here comes Makuba or something like that, right? He got caught a few times like that, which is very rare for somebody like Patrick Mahomes. So that was their changeup. I also think the part of the changeup is this is where – like you gotta know who you're going against. Vic Fangio's smart. He's been around the league for a long time. He probably went, wait, if I come out here with the Super Bowl game plan, they've looked at the Super Bowl a few times this offseason and gone, how can we attack this football team? What are we going to do to screw what they did to us in the Super Bowl? So he gave them the curveball of this element, and, I think it caused issues for them altogether.
A 3rd and 8 in the second quarter. Early in the second quarter, they blitzed the slot. Mahomes never saw it.
Never
got sacked.
Right, got sacked.
And that was in Eagles territory. That was a huge possession.
It was.
They were not ready for it at all. They were surprised. But
we got no Kelsey. He's not the same.
Yeah.
Right? Kelsey's solid. He's good still. But the days of like teams worrying about him, doubling him, game planning, I think they're kind of over. Right? I think they are. And so without him, again, and like we talked about, the defensive side of the ball, there's still a lot of good, but I don't know if there's a real superstar dominate play up type of guy. That's where we're seeing right now they're struggling. It's all on Mahomes to kind of make plays. Nothing in the offense is delivering for them. And like we've talked about with their deep crossers and all that, I think the NFL is a little used to how Spags plays D2 because they've copied it and studied so, thoroughly.
Is there something they could do to get back on track? Obviously, we're seeing him run more.
Yes, the running
is helping.
I was sitting there. I think you might have saw my bottom of my notes. Yeah. I wrote. I think the only thing they're good at consistently is the quick game. I'm not so sure right now. I just wouldn't go put Mahomes in the shotgun, go empty your 4 receivers,
like Texas
and
Tech.
let him just start doing that and let him start picking you apart that way. right? That would be the thing I look at right now to go, I think that might be their best option going forward.
They have to trade for a wide receiver, right?
I would think so, but let's evaluate where this is.
Right,
Don't trade the house for Tyreek Hill if you're sitting there at like 4-4,
right,
or something of that nature. I don't know if it's worth it at that point, right? So we'll see where it goes. But I'm definitely a little concerned for the first time in a while with the Chiefs.
The next one I know you're really excited about, not only because it's Shane Steichen's offense against a good Denver defense,
right,
but Daniel Jones out here making real plays.
Yes.
Real plays.
Exactly right.
Like the first one that opened my eyes was when he was drifting back and hit Josh Downs down the field, down the left, with a ton of guys running
right in his face, and he threw like a, what was it, a deep out route, or was it a deep crosser?
It looked like a deep crosser, but
right,
it was a bomb considering how he was positioned.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, Daniel Jones is more confident than I've ever seen.
Well, let's see. Here we go. Number 17 is really good at throwing with people all around him when the pocket is collapsing. He's used to it. He was with the Giants, right?
That's right.
So he's not going to flinch much. He's tough as hell. That's the one thing you know about him. Denver's going to be happy they played the Colts, because Denver's going to be happy to go, wait, some of these aggressive defenses that we always call and that really screw other offenses up, we better be careful, because guys like Shane Steichen are going to expose our over-aggressive nature and end up with Jonathan Taylor running a swing route down the sideline for, a 60-yard gain, or another one that I think he had the touchdown on, which was the same thing. I'm trying to make sure I got that right. But, yeah, there was moments like that. Yeah, Taylor had the 43-yard gain, right? Where he had the 43-yard gain. He also had the touchdown reception. All were because Denver was too aggressive, and they got people in a bind there, and they got people open. I love Steichen's offense. He knows how to attack. He's like a Shanahan and McVay, and others too. I don't want to I use them as an example of once he starts to figure out, oh, they're playing this against us a lot, he can start cracking the code in a way where he can attack you as good as anybody in the sport. And I think that's what we saw on Sunday afternoon.
I thought that was O'Connell last year.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's that way too.
It's Steichen this year, and the narrative's easy. Everybody wants to know, is Daniel Jones going to be this year's Sam Darnold?
Yeah, yes, it is. He is going to be.
It feels like
he is. I mean, listen, I think Daniel Jones is more talented than Sam Darnold. He's, as I've always said, he's big. This offense really suits him. First off, he moves well. They move the quarterback a little bit in Indianapolis, so that's all good. Steichen is a magician at getting people open 15 to 20 yards downfield. To me, that's where Daniel Jones will throw strike after strike after strike, like the throw you were talking about.
Yeah.
That's where he's good. If we've complained about Daniel Jones and his past and the Giants and the history of it, it's always been in the deep ball. That's where we've always been like, all the 35, 40, 45, he just missed him and all that. And it looks like he's in the process of fixing that as well. Right? And pizza in my ear going even. He was reluctant to try at times.
He was not confident.
No, but you can see with a coach and a little talent around him, now he's starting to feel himself and he's letting it rip, and he doesn't have the fans second guessing everything he does. And we're seeing what Danny Dimes can really bring to the table. I'm really happy for him. The Colts, to me, are right now one of my favorite stories of football. Because everyone didn't know about Steichen. Lou Anarumo's crap and Daniel Jones is crap. And it's like, no. When they have some things on there that help them, they're pretty good.
It feels like a lot of guys that kind of were dealt a bad hand at some point.
Yes.
And Lou Anarumo especially. I mean, he was just scapegoat city right there. And Steichen, it looks like, has a quarterback. How about a little blind resume that Pete cooked us up here? This one is going to surprise a lot of people. This is Daniel Jones on the left, weeks 1 and 2. And on the right, Chris, look at those numbers through weeks 1 and 2 last year.
Oh, my gosh. So this is last year, 1 and 2. Wow. I'm going to say, is that picture a real picture of the person's hair that you're going to fill in?
No,
okay,
no. That is absolutely.
I'm going to say it's Lamar Jackson. I'm going to go Lamar Jackson.
All right. The reveal, I tell you, it is not Lamar Jackson. It's Derek Carr.
They got off hot last year.
Clint Kubiak's offense was on fire last year, and then they were dealt about 95 injuries. But it is amazing what Daniel Jones has done through 2 weeks.
This offense has more answers than that Clint Kubiak offense showed, right?
I think they have more to lean on, too. They're not like one injury away from like, oh, boy.
No doubt.
The bottom fell out.
I continue to say this is the most, I think, underrated skill group in football, maybe.
I think Tyler Warren might win Rookie of the Year.
He's a beast.
Because I think this is just going to be every week he's going to have 80 yards.
Yes.
And then you're going to look at the end of the year and be like, whoa.
Oh, he had 1,200 yards.
Yeah, how the hell did that happen?
I would not be shocked.
And the blocking tape's awesome.
Well, yeah, the way they play, again, they can feature everybody else. They run the ball well. And he's just a master at coming up with like 4 or 5 plays a game that are not really system. They're just like, we game plan this the over, and we're going to get him open, and we saw that. Hey, Denver's D, I want to say this before we change the subject. It's good still. Don't be fooled. I mean, Denver's D, I'm still impressed. Like I said, I think they're going to have to, with some of these high-octane offenses, maybe kind of rethink how they attack it. They can't just be in your face attacking you all the time, and they'll figure that out. I got the faith in that, but, man, they do, as I watch them on film, I just go, whew. They have plays where I'm just like, holy crap. Like their front and their secondary. But I worry about their linebackers until Greenlaw gets back. Their linebackers did not show up at all in this game.
Is it foot speed?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like to me. Just range.
Some of those things you saw with the backs and crossers and stuff like that, they're just not fast enough in that area right now to stop that part of an offense.
Which is why you go get a Greenlaw. Like that's the whole point.
Right.
So I think they're aware of it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Our last film topic, Chris, Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is a big topic across the sport right now because, listen, first week played more receiver than DB.
Yep.
This week, more was put on his plate at DB. The bottom line is, Chris, there's no way around it. And it's 2 weeks. Nobody's writing off anything about Travis Hunter. Right. But it's been an underwhelming 2 weeks. And you have to ask yourself at some point, and I know they drafted him and spent all this capital to get him because he's supposed to be really good at both things. But right now, are they just half-assing 2 things?
I think it's a fair thing to say. I'd rather him be really great at one, and the other one he just has a little bit of help or whatever else.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, right now we're getting, it was 85 snaps. He played both sides of the ball. And I go, I don't really remember anything except a few bad plays at the end of the game with DB.
Yeah, the interference call.
There was nothing. Or Jamar Chase catching like a 15-yard out route like a few plays later, right? Or the 4th and 2 where, again, like Devin said Sunday night, I don't know if it was him or Tavon Walker. I think it was him. They're playing a zone cover 3 on the 4th and 2 a few plays before the pass interference. And I just go like, first off, it's hard to do both because of the mental gymnastics. And yeah, he's not popping on either side of the ball right now. Is that what you got? That's why you traded up to number 2 to make him like, look, hey, we just have a solid corner and a solid receiver. That's what we did? I would rather him go, hey, he's an awesome receiver. We're still learning at DB. He's an awesome receiver. We're adding a little more on the plate. And then you get it going from there. But right now, it's like they're trying to get the best of both worlds, and you're getting no worlds. You're getting no worlds at all.
I think the lack of offensive production is what's disappointing to me. Because, like, you look at Liam Coen coming from Tampa Bay, and you're like, okay, he needs 2 top-flight wide receivers to run this offense.
Yep.
Weird game for a lot of different reasons, and we're not going to be done talking about this game. But it just feels like, when they pull him over to the defense, it takes away what can make him special on offense.
I would agree.
It's just 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
He's still a really good route runner. The things I will stand by, right, with some of the draft stuff where we've self-scouted ourselves. We said we were wrong, like Mecca, Buka, and some guys like that, at least me. I know you were already high on him. But I still stand by what I said. He's not as explosive and as freaky as everybody thinks. Right. I really think everybody just saw, he's on Colorado with Deion Sanders. He must be like Deion. And it's like, no. When they play man-to-man, they don't even trust him against T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. They put him on Josevic, or a tight end. And I think that says a lot too. And he's not the kind of corner that wants to play bump and run. When he got on T. Higgins man-to-man like once or twice during the game, he backed off. And the other thing that worries me a little bit about DB is he's slight. Like when it became a little bit of a shoving match with T. Higgins, he bumped around a little bit, right? So, they got to figure this out. But I'd like you're saying, I want him to be a receiver. Come up with the niche plays, all the intricate routes somewhere between 5 and 15 yards. He should be the expert in that because they have the guys that can do everything else. That's the other thing that you notice when you watch them at receiver. You go, okay, he's not as explosive as Brian Thomas Jr. He's not as explosive as De'Ami Brown. I'm not sure he's as explosive as Parker Washington.
That's concerning.
Okay. But his ability to put his foot and make a sharp cut and do that stuff is still elite. And I think that's where they got to stick with for right now until they start to grow the rest of his game around it.
It's early, but I'll die on the hill that I thought he was a wide receiver that can play safety for you with his ball skills.
Yeah, right. I think
playing corner is we always used to say, imagine covering Jamar Chase after you're playing a ton of receiver snaps.
Right.
Well, we got to look at it.
Exactly right.
And it's a rookie look at it, but we got to look at it.
Yes, it doesn't look right when he's got to be in those situations. Yeah. I'm with you too. I like him as a DB, but something where he's playing zone and reading the field. That's why I would say honey badger to me early on.
Utilize his ball skills.
Just ball skills. Let him read the quarterback. He feels plays. He's good at all that. But like lockdown man-to-man, no. That's not what he does. And I would think this week they take a step back and go, guys,
let's dial it in on something.
This is not what we didn't draft this guy to, get a few catches early in the game and then we don't hear from him and then be on DB and we don't hear from him at all until it got bad in the end of the football game, right? So they got to readjust the game plan altogether.
We're going to take one more break. Chris, we know how much you love Shane Steichen's offense, but we're going to look at one of his coaching decisions Sunday. First guess it, second guess it. We'll see after this. Second guess or first guess, we're looking at some big coaching decisions. Are we just criticizing them in hindsight, second guessing, or do you actually disagree with them in the moment? Chris, let's start with Jacksonville, Liam Coen.
Right.
So he makes the decision to go for it on fourth down. There's 3 minutes and 47 seconds left in the game. They're up 3.
Right.
They're on the Cincinnati 7.
Right.
Trevor Lawrence throws the ball to Brian Thomas Jr. It's dropped. It's in the middle of the field. Would he have gotten this first down anyway? Because everyone's talking about the drop and him being hesitant going to contact.
Should
but
we call
look at the freeze.
play?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, what do you even think of this call in the first place?
I said this from the get-go. I wasn't sure he was going to get it if he caught it, right? This is something we said Sunday night because Devin McCourty was like, hey, forget that. The guy's got to catch the ball. We saw him get alligator arms early in the game, and I want to stand corrected on that, too, with the interception. I kind of thought maybe he was 2 alligator arms. No, Trevor Lawrence has got to stop him a little bit. Trevor Lawrence was about to run him into a train wreck in that second interception. But with this one right here, all right, yes, I'm not sure he gets the first down. You could see people are bearing down on him. It's going to be one of those balls. There's one of these balls right here where, first off, he's already bobbling it at this moment.
Right.
Like, the ball was going to be in right around his private areas, and he was not going to be able to just turn around and run upfield. It was going to be like, catch the ball, and can I kind of back my way into the first down? So I don't know if he gets there either. So, yeah, that on Brian Thomas Jr., they made some crucial mistakes. We know De'Ami Brown drops a touchdown pass, maybe the drive before, where they should have already been up 31-24. Or actually, it might have been a few plays before. I think maybe I'm getting this mixed up. I think it was. But I still, at the end of the day, I'm going to second guess the play call itself, and I would not have gone for it. All right, and
that's the part I'm more interested in because Liam Coen stood by this after the game. He said it's 100% a go in the analytics and in the data. It's 100% a go. He had more to say about it, but he stood by the decision that you have to go.
Have you ever heard the analytics not say go? I mean, that's the one thing I question. And I've never heard anybody coach go for it, and then they go, hey, the analytics said don't go for it.
Right.
I mean, it's always seems to back it up. I'll lean on a point Florio brought up on Monday that I think's interesting. When the owner's son is in charge of the analytics department, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Food for thought, conspiracy, Chris, whatever. You can say what you want. But, if the owner's son's in your going, go for it, it's 100%, the coach is going to be like, yep, it was the right call. I mean, he's going to stand up there and take it on the chin. So I don't know, but my thought is this, and it hasn't changed really from the get-go. You're up by 3. The Bengals haven't scored since the end of the third quarter with 2 minutes and 39 seconds left. Browning has thrown an interception since then.
Right.
Make him go onto the field down 6 thinking I have to score a touchdown. There is a lot of pressure in that moment. And I know, I know people are going to go, well, they scored a touchdown. Yes, but there was no pressure once you got into field goal range. The pressure was off. So once you got into about the 40, because they have a kicker with a big leg, right. 40, 35, now it's like, we're here.
Right.
The tie is locked.
House money.
The tie is locked now. Let's see if we can go win this. And for a backup quarterback who had some things where he had to be doubting himself a little with some of his interceptions because they were all pretty bad for the most part, yeah, I would have put the pressure back on him. I would have gone up by 6, and then gone, kick the ball off, and let's see if Jake Browning, who has done some good things, don't get me wrong, but it's still a backup quarterback. Can Jake Browning go down the field and score a touchdown and beat us? I would have liked to have seen that. That would have been my approach.
That's the thing for me. It's not Joe Burrow coming from the sideline at that point.
Right.
That's what surprised me about it. If you're on that Jacksonville defense, you got to be looking around and being like, and I know they came up short anyway, like I get it. But at the same time, I totally agree with you. The scenario of how you're playing it is different when you're up 6 versus when you're up 2.
Right. And I think the Jags could have played it different down the stretch too, and saving more time to keep your offense on the field. Or at some point, when they first got down to the 1-yard line, let them score. Just let them go in. So you have the ball back and get a chance to go do something. But yeah, they blew it. That is one. I mean, again, it's amazing. The Bengals are 2-0, and I really feel like they've been outplayed in both games. Not really outplayed, but they found a way to win because the other team just found a way to it up. Really, that's how I look at it. So I still don't know what to think of the Bengals, I think, going forward.
One more here, Shane Steichen. How about the play calling before the game-winning field goal? This was interesting. For a recap, minute and 44 left. It's 1st and 10 on the Denver 43. Right. Daniel Jones just converted a 3rd down to Alec Pierce, throwing the ball.
Right. Good throw, too. Good catch by Alec Pierce.
Great conversion. Right. Like, it's all Indianapolis right now. From this moment, Shane Steichen basically just says, we're going to run the ball and play for the field goal, a long field goal. Jonathan Taylor, 2-yard run, down to 1 minute and 2 seconds. Jonathan Taylor, 1-yard run, timeout at 17 seconds. Jonathan Taylor loses 2 yards. So JT 3 times in a row, timeout at 3 seconds for a Spencer Schrader 60-yard field goal. And he missed it. But the Broncos got called for a leverage penalty.
I mean, again, they missed a field goal. They do that, right? I mean, again, that's where we were saying a minute ago, like the Broncos blew some opportunities to win that football game. I don't understand this at all. Totally going to second guess that as well. A 1st or 2nd down's got to be some sort of, let me see if we can get a cheap 5 yards or whatever. I know you want to keep the clock running and do all that, but just shocked that they seemed like they basically settled with Denver in total run-stop defense mode and just went, our guy's going to knock it in from 58 or 59. I mean, first off, this isn't Aubrey from Dallas or our guy from Pittsburgh.
Right, Boswell.
Right, where I'd go, okay, like with Boswell, okay, I can understand being really conservative. I don't know if I feel quite the same here about Schrader yet. Sorry. So, yeah, I was a little surprised by the lack of aggressiveness either on 1st or 2nd.
He hadn't attempted in his 2-year career a field goal longer than 48 yards. His long at Notre Dame was a 54-yarder. So, obviously, they know because they see him practice.
Yeah, right.
But, man, a 60-yarder to win the game.
That to me is, they got a little too worried about we don't want to let Denver touch the ball.
Right.
All right, you ran the ball on 1st down. There's 17 seconds. If you try to call a play that's a cool pass play that you think you can get a cheap 5, 6, 7 yards on, if it's incomplete, it's still going to be down to 11 seconds. It's like you're going to run clock off, and then you're still going to kick the field goal and or run that 3rd down play, take more time off, and then kick a field goal, which is going to take time off.
Right.
So to me, I feel like he overplayed the clock situation a little. Like, I'm not going to let them touch the ball. Yeah, don't be perfect. Try to be really good. I know we all want to be perfect, but that one I think ended up, they got lucky. They certainly did.
He kind of treated it like Mahomes or Josh Allen were on the other side.
Exactly right.
That's not how Denver plays with Bo Nix right now.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Right.
Not
exactly
yet.
right.
So
they're not that scary there.
This one I thought was bizarre in the moment.
Yeah.
And good for the Colts. They got the win anyway. Tough for Denver, but Shane Steichen's done a lot of great things. That was one where, maybe he learns from it, and it's great to learn when you win the game anyway.
That's the best thing. Hey, they got some mojo going. They believe in their quarterback. Everybody deserves one game where you get to steal a win or something like that.
League.
And again, that's the early part of the season too. We see teams up certain game situations. We've seen a lot of that in the first 2 weeks. Right? That's why we just talked about it. That's why the Browns lost to the Bengals in week 1. They were messing up situations left and right. But yeah, I'm happy for Shane. I'm happy for Chris Ballard. I'm happy for Daniel Jones, and I'm happy for Lou Anarumo. To me, the Colts are one of the coolest things going right now in the NFL.
All right, pod 1 from us this week in the books. We got another one, though.
We got another one. We'll be wearing the same shirts for the tomorrow podcast, all right? But it's happening today. You know where to find us. Come get us. Me, Connor Rogers, all right? Chris Sims Unbuttoned. Subscribe, rate, review. Send your questions in. All right, we're at a different set just for the day, but we'll be right back at you tomorrow. Peace out, homies. We'll see you. Yo, homies, it's time to watch some games. That's right. We're on to the NFL season here with Chris Sims Unbuttoned.
Hit subscribe to get our weekly picks, Sunday night recaps after every game, and much, much more.
Thanks for watching. Peace out, homies. Remember, subscribe. Peace out.